Few opponents have ever provoked personal hatred in Tyson. As a true gentleman in the ring, the young knockout machine, Iron Mike, would even assist his already defeated opponents after delivering them an abominable knockout loss. Since pugilism is a gentleman's sport, one could expect nothing less from a man who knows that sports rivalry begins and ends with the sound of the bells. However, there was one fighter who truly crossed the boundaries of sportsmanship with Iron Mike and for years became his most undesirable foe. Do you think you know the story? Stay until the end of the video to uncover every detail of the rivalry between Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, and Tyrell Biggs, an Olympic boxing medalist. You won't believe all that lies behind this story. Content background. The origins of this rivalry date back to 1983 and 1984, when the U.S. boxing team was conducting trials to select amateur fighters who would represent the nation at the 1984 Olympic Games. Before making his epic leap into professional boxing, the young Mike Tyson was a prodigious fighter. In the ring, flashes of the greatness he would later showcase were already evident. But there was a major problem. Tyson's height wasn't the most intimidating attribute in a boxing match. Against opponents who towered over him by a head or even two, the Olympic team's trainers doubted whether his lethal power would be enough when the giants of other nations faced him in the ring. Based on the belief that size does matter, at least in some cases, young Mike saw his dreams of representing his country in the Olympics shattered despite never hiding his desire to achieve his greatest ambition, winning a gold medal for the United States. This is where Tyrell Biggs enters the scene. Biggs was the fighter selected to join the team. He possessed the key attribute the recruiters sought: good height. On the day the team was set to board the plane for the Olympic Games, Mike went to the airport to see the team off. It was there that Biggs delivered the lowest blow Tyson ever received in his career. Biggs, in a playful and mocking tone, claimed he didn't know why Tyson was at the airport that day, but one thing he was certain of: Tyson wouldn't be boarding that plane with them. For Mike, what might have been just a spicy comment stuck in his mind like a parasite, breeding hatred toward the man who had taken his place in what, at the time, was the greatest goal of his life. Already struggling to recover from the emotional blow of being unable to fulfill his dream, Mike was dealt another crushing wound, this time twisted in front of the press, friends, family, and colleagues. From that moment on, he knew he had to do something, and that something was to severely punish Tyrell Biggs for his audacity. Although fate did not grant him the chance to represent the United States, it did give him the opportunity to stand face-to-face with Biggs in a professional boxing ring at his peak. There, Tyson could show him the man that boy he mocked had grown to become. The fight years later, on October 16, 1987, Biggs once again found himself facing Mike Tyson. By this time, Tyson was not only the youngest heavyweight champion in history, but also the undisputed champion. Mike was defending the IBF heavyweight title for the first time, the WBA heavyweight title for the third time, and the WBC heavyweight title for the fourth time. There was no doubt that the boy who had been mocked at the airport years earlier had grown into a true warrior. While the Olympic Selection Committee had not been wrong in their choice, Biggs had won the gold medal in the super heavyweight division at the 1984 Olympics, they had certainly underestimated the power of a fighter whose height was not a limitation at all. In fact, in many bouts, Mike turned his lack of height into an advantage. As they say, good things come in small packages, and Tyson already had a long list of victims. His professional record stood at 31 victories with no losses, 27 of them achieved via knockout. Biggs, who debuted professionally after Tyson, also remained undefeated, boasting 15 wins, 10 of them by knockout. In the lead-up to the fight, Biggs once again decided it was a good idea to disrespect Tyson. He claimed that Tyson's professional record was built on favorable matchups, and that Mike had never fought a real puncher, someone like him. According to Biggs, he had known Tyson long before he was overrated, and claimed to know exactly how to hand him his first professional defeat. With this premise, the big day arrived. A crowd of over 12,000 gathered at the Convention Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey, to witness what was promoted as a genuine death match between two rivals with a shared history. The youngest heavyweight champion and the most recent Olympic medalist would put their undefeated records on the line. By the end of the night, only one could claim to have handed the other their first defeat. With Tony Orlando as the third man in the ring, the death match began. Fight summary. Tyson's fearsome left hand broke the ice in the first round, leaving Biggs with no choice but to backpedal. Biggs relied on his excellent footwork to move around the ring, but this was definitely not the response anyone expected from the Olympic medalist. Tyson followed him closely, maintaining his guard while delivering sharp blows whenever possible. Eventually, Biggs attempted to test Mike's guard with his left hand, but nothing significant enough to be memorable.
Just throw the jab like he's doing now, not to let Tyson set up. He's trying for the head now, and come with that right hand.
It was 5 years ago, but he really bothered me.
There is the hook again because...
From this early point, Tyson established himself as the clear aggressor, cornering Biggs with a notorious left toward the end of the round.
Biggs started to become a stationary target, which is wrong.
Right hand by him.
Biggs continued to evade Tyson with lateral movements in the second round, but by the end of it, he had nowhere left to run.
Flies the jab. You see him keeping that jab consistent, moved out. Became stationary target. The hands are getting exchanged toe-to-toe, like I said earlier. You can't... And the way that Biggs is moving...
With at least 30 seconds left on the clock, Biggs attempted to clinch, but Mike blocked him, savagely attacking his body with his devastating left hand.
That's the uppercut, but you gotta come back with the right hand.
After the break, Mike shot Biggs a challenging glare, daring him to fight just before going for his head.
That was that hook I was talking about. Next should make it back to his corner. I'm sure Georgie Biggs will say, keep those hands high.
By the third round, Biggs seemed more willing to engage in close-range exchanges, which gave Tyson the opportunity to become even more lethal.
Working his body, jab like Kevin Rooney stated.
Another left hook.
Same thing, 1-2, and he throws it.
During the final minute, Tyson pursued Biggs like a predator hunting its prey, landing unstoppable left hands to the head. Biggs tried to counter with a few punches of his own, but his primary plan was still to evade Tyson around the ring.
Pointed out before the fight. And now it's Tyson.
The eye. Using his tools. He's trying to outmuscle.
Mike's left hand punished Biggs severely during the last 20 seconds. By the middle of the fourth round, Biggs had abandoned his escape plan. Staying at the center of the ring, he landed a few punches on Mike, but they lacked the power to make a significant impact. In contrast, with each devastating left hand from Tyson, Biggs seemed more and more disoriented.
The cut has not been any worse, and remember, it was a pretty good job done by Ace. He took a big left hand there.
Body movement from Tyrell Biggs now. Start throw some uppercut.
At the start of the fifth round, Tyson strode past the center of the ring to meet his challenger, who watched him approach with fear. Tyson controlled the pace of the fight and was the undeniable aggressor. He had completely abandoned targeting the giant's body and went straight for Biggs' head with relentless attacks. Biggs threw a right hook that Mike dodged with ease, making it look effortless.
Himself when he wakes up tomorrow morning.
I don't know what night. To allow Mike to dominate.
Returning to his corner, Tyson flashed a smile at the camera, a clear reflection of his satisfaction with how the bout was unfolding. Mike toyed with Biggs a little longer before finishing him off in the seventh round. Though the fight officially ended with just 1 second left in the round, it felt as though it had concluded a minute earlier. Biggs stumbled, partly from a brutal Tyson punch and partly from sheer exhaustion.
One punch.
And he's never, there's a right hand that just caught Biggs off, but he didn't put him away.
The elbow there. Oh, that punch.
That was a tremendous. On right now, he has no legs at all.
Oh, this is it.
He is gone. And 10 seconds to go in a round. There's a left hand.
After his dramatic fall to the canvas, referee Tony Orlando began the count, and Biggs rose to his feet at 9. But Biggs had already absorbed all the punishment he could take. He no longer had the energy to keep evading Tyson or to throw his ineffective jabs. Thus, the fight was declared over. At 2 minutes and 59 seconds of the 7th round, Mike Tyson defeated Tyrell Biggs by technical knockout. Without a doubt, this was one of the sweetest victories for Iron Mike, proving he was stronger and more powerful than the fighter wearing the medal that should have been his. Conclusion. If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, the best way to support my content is by leaving a like and a comment below. What did you think of this fight? Do you think Biggs ever had a real chance of defeating Tyson, or was he just another loudmouth making promises he couldn't deliver on in the ring? I'll see you in the comments.